So I recently built a PC for my personal computing and gaming use. The target of the build was gaming at 1080p resolution with 60 FPS. It's very easy to buy an expensive computer that can't even run the games you want to play. Nearly all the parts were bought used. The only part that I recommend new is the hard drive or the SSD. There are two ways to start the build, a custom case and a motherboard or a bare bones OEM. I choose the latter, but the thing to look for is the PSU. Most OEM computers come with very limited power supply or one that's not even upgradable. But buying a Dell or a Lenovo system like that will limit you to use a low power or a slower graphics card. So I bought a HP Z230 workstation because it had a PSU with 6-pin GPU power port, USB 3.0 and all other ports that I needed. CPU. It had a 4th generation i5-4590 in it that can be upgraded to a i7 or a Xeon CPU. RAM. I installed 10GB of RAM. 8GB would be a good start. At least 16GB are recommended for Chrome users. Storage. SSD drive is highly recommended, but my order from China never arrived. I guess they were too busy eating bat soup at the time and had to stop the world to enjoy their food, so I just used my old hard drives. GPU. The graphic card's choice is the most important because a GPU that is more powerful than the CPU or one that is too weak, both are good ways to waste money. The card that I saw working well with this CPU are RX 470, 570, 480, 580. All of these cards come with 4GB or 8GB VRAM. In Nvidia side, the GTX 1060 is very good, but it's mostly sold at a significantly higher price. There are 3GB and 6GB versions, where the 3GB version should be avoided. I bought the RX 470 4GB. Just remember to change the thermal paste with a good one. Price. I will not be assuming any prices of this part because they change according to time and space. Anyone interested in actually buying can ask their local shop or website for price. Games. I have tested a lot of games on the system, but only will be sharing the performance of the games that have an in-game benchmark tool. In actual gameplay, the FPS fluctuates a lot. First game that I tested was Grand Theft Auto 5 just because I am very familiar with its performance differences on different systems. On 1080p with high to very high settings, it got about 70 FPS average. If you are okay with lower frame rate, you can even play at 4K. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. On high settings 1080p got about 59 average frames. Assassin's Creed Origins on high settings got about 45 FPS at 1080p resolution. Deus Ex Mankind Divided got about 51 average frames on 1080p resolution.
Should have stayed home today. Where are you?
Get out here, you bastard. Smells like squat.
idea I've ever done wrong. You have to check the perimeter, man.
Esports titles like CSGO, Valorant, Dota 2 ran 100 plus FPS on high settings, so no issues there. Overall, I have to say it's a very decent computer and was able to get 60 FPS at most newer games with tweaked settings. It ran very hot at first, but after I reinstalled the thermal paste with a thin layer, it got quite cooler. I have a few more computers with different hardware. Anyone interested can ask about other builds in the comments, and will be making more useful videos related to operating system settings. Subscribe to see more, because you can do many things to improve your computer and gaming performance without even upgrading. And remember, stay safe online.
昨日の爆発、風間組の事務所は粉々に吹っ飛んだそうだが、柏木組長は無事だそうだ。
そうか。
近江連合の仕業じゃねえだろうな。
おそらく合田隆二だ。
ええ。
ああ。昨日蒼天堀であった。
本当か。
お待ちしておりました。
行くぞ。
ああ。
ご苦労様です。ご苦労様です。